Hello everybody, it's Brother Chad back for a video. In this video I'm going to talk about the dream I had about, I think I was 25, so about 18 years ago. This was a dream I had and I was brought to hell. For those of you who have been following my channel, you know that I died for 6 minutes when I was 13. I have been to heaven and hell, and I have an actual testimony of that. But this was a dream I was given by the Lord, like I said, 18 years ago, where I went to hell, and I want to share this. So in this dream, if you listen to my testimony, on my way down to hell, I was actually headed down into the lake of fire, into the lava, and got to see all the people wading through the lava, and a big demon kind of backhanding through the people and crushing them, and people screaming everywhere. It was bad. It was horrible. Nothing more real than actually being in hell. But in this dream, it was different. It was like a different part of hell. Like there's different areas of hell and different types of torture down there. That I can tell you for sure. But in this dream, it started off and I was just in complete blackness. I wasn't burning and it wasn't super hot or anything. It was definitely hell. There wasn't good feelings down there. It was more fear and scary feelings and just evil and badness around. You know, hell, completely opposite of what you feel in heaven. But anyways, I'm just in this dark place, and I was actually sitting in complete blackness, and I was on like a little like if you had a cheap little kitchen chair, you know, with the metal frame and the little round top on it. I was just sitting on a stupid little chair like that in complete blackness in hell. And all of a sudden, out of blackness, my mother walks up to me out of the dark into hell and comes up to me face to face. And I didn't understand what was going on in my dream. We were just standing there face to face to each other. And if you've been following my channel, you know I suffered a lot as a kid, even by the hands of my own parents. So we're standing there, and all of a sudden, my focus goes over 20, 30 feet off to the left, and there was like three big, huge, I don't know how big they would have been. They definitely seemed bigger than me, like they were 7, 8 feet tall. Three big, like dark-looking judges. They all three of them had, like there was three judges. I would call it like a big desk. 3 desks in a row side by side, and there was 3 judges sitting behind these desks, and they were very demonic-looking judges. They were very big. They had like black, sooty, like scarred up heads and bald heads, and almost like cartoonish, demonic looking. And they were just looking at me, and they were like slamming their gavels on their judge desks or whatever you want to call them. And I'm looking at them in fear, and the one judge kind of points to my mother and says, "You have to forgive your mother." And it was so creepy. If you followed my channel, you know my story. I repressed most of the things I went through at the hands of my mother and father until into my 30s, so I didn't understand why I was even being shown this. I didn't have any reason to not be loving my mother at the time, you know, which I still try to as good as I can, because we should. But anyways, this judge in hell, this big, dark, scary judge in hell who had a black robe and all that, points at my mother and says, "You have to forgive her or you will end up here." And it was so creepy. And then the dream kind of went off, and I went into a different place in hell. I started walking off into the darkness. And this section of hell was so mentally demonic. It's even hard to explain. It was just like walking through a complete dark place, and there was just like bright white, like demonic figures, like just bending and curving and shooting out into your like vision from all different angles, like quick, all over the place. It was like I don't know how to explain it. It's so hard to explain. But it was like being in like a Halloween, if you went to like a scary house or a madhouse where they're trying to scare you. It was like that, except for 100 times fold. Like I said, just weird things and shapes and weird creatures just shooting out at you, curving and making weird noises everywhere. And I remember being in this place in hell, and it was so hard to to handle mentally. It was so much coming at me that I could feel like pain in my brain, like in my mind, just twisting. It was just like, it was almost like torture on the mind. It was just like torturing me in my mind. Like it was just causing such immense pain. Like I almost couldn't handle all the things I was seeing shooting out everywhere at me. It was such a demonic place. And I look back at it now and I think, like this place in hell here is kind of for the ones who in their life on earth have spent their life, who enjoy like tormenting and torturing others and playing mind games, people that like to target others, gang stalk others, those who think it's funny to play mind games with others. There's a place in hell that is so horrible you do not want to be there. It's just, like I said, it just felt like mind torture, like my mind was being twisted into knots. It was painful in my head. And I just wanted to share this dream of this other place in hell I was once in. Oh, and the part I forgot too, before I got to that part, when I left my mother and I first started walking into the darkness, there was a cage, like a steel, almost like a jail cell, but like a cage with four walls of bars, like a 10 by 10 by 10 jail cage. And the creepy thing about it was there was 4 or 5 people in the cage, but they weren't actually fully inside the cage. They were kind of intertwined into the bars of the outside of the cage. It was so gruesome to look at, like these things in hell that I was shown. The bars of the outside of the cage were literally going through parts of the people's bodies in hell. The ones locked into these cages, they couldn't even move inside or walk around inside the cage. They were locked into the bars on the edge of the cage. Like you would see a bar going through like their thigh here. It would come up, go right into their stomach and out their side. I seen the one guy where the bar went right through the bottom of his chin and you could see his mouth open, the bar going right through his mouth, out the top of his head. It was so gross and gruesome. Like it was such a horrible dream I was given of nightmare, and just the realness of how bad of a place this will be for anybody in there. And you hear so many testimonies of hell and heaven, and I don't think I've ever heard any of them, honestly, that I don't believe. I believe there are many different parts and places of hell and heaven that we won't know or ever experience until we're there. Like, don't think that hell or heaven is just one thing you hear of. Heaven is nothing but a vastness of good, loving things, joy, excitement, just wondrous place of never-ending glory and amazing things to behold and be found, when hell is just never-ending torment and horrors and pain and suffering to go through. Just demonic things that you can't even understand, twisting your brain into knots. Seeing things that are just so scary to look at. No horror movie in this world could ever do them justice. So I needed to share this dream of hell. And it's funny, the coincidences. I wanted to say the Lord gives many of us. I've had many dreams, and I hear other people's dreams where they get similar parts of the same parts of my dream. And I remember months ago, Marcus Rogers put out a dream too, and he was shown the part of my dream where he seen people in the steel cage in hell with the bars going through them. So I just wanted to point that out. It's there's lots of confirmations going on in this world where many of us get similar dreams or showing us the same things, little parts to let us know how real these things are. And just like I said, confirmations. So this is a dream I've been, I said many videos back I would put out of another dream I had of being in hell. Oh, and when I woke up from this dream, it was very strong. I was all sweating, like many of my strong dreams. And I kind of went out and I went into the dining room, and my dad was sitting at the head of the table. And I looked at him, I was all sweaty. He's like, well, what happened? He's like, oh, I just had a dream I was in hell. And he could see, he knew I had a powerful dream, and he's looking at me and he's like, oh yeah, what was it? And he said, Mom came up to me in hell, and this wicked judge told me I had to forgive Mom and all this. And my dad just kind of looked at me and he got like his evil smirk on his face. It was kind of like funny to him, because you know, even the people working for the dark and on the dark side, they know we struggle and we still have to follow the rules we are given, like to forgive, to love, and even when we go through horrible things, we still have to maintain these commandments from our Lord. We must try to forgive everybody, even for some of the hardest things for some of us. So I just wanted to put this out there, this testimony, this dream I had of being in different parts of hell. So anyways, you guys, everybody out there, take care. Love you guys.